Good to come your way once again as we continue our wonderful journey in core mathematics. My name is Nana Yawedu, and you can call me Say Nana. Remember to share this video, like the video, and especially comment at the comment section if you find anything interesting or you have any question you want to ask, and we'll discuss it. And don't forget to click on the notification bell and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can be abreast with all videos I put out here. In our previous lesson, we've considered different types of angles based on parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and the transversal. And we looked at angles like the corresponding angles, alternate angles, vertically opposite angles, co-interior angles. In this lesson, we would want to solve some questions based on these parallel lines, transversal lines, and the angles. So let's consider our first question. So with this question, we are basically looking at a question where you are asked to find the angles measured. So we are the letter O, and then X, and then Y, right? So first and foremost, we would want to solve this using the angle. So let's assume that the point here, we can label it as M, and let's label the point here as N, right? So we can call this angle PMB. So we can say that angle PMB plus angle QMB, right? So angle QMB is equal to 180 degrees. So when we look at this very carefully, we see that the angle here, the 120 here, and the angle O here is on a straight line. And we know that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So we can substitute PMB with the angle. So we say 120 degrees plus angle QMB is equal to 180 degrees. So we want to find angle QMB, and we know angle QMB becomes equal to 180 degrees minus 120 degrees. So we can say angle QMB is equal to 60 degrees. So now we can say that since angle QMB is equal to the angle at O, then it means that the O is 60 degrees, right? So O is equal to 60 degrees. So we now have the angle here O to be 60 degrees. Now to find S, we can use different ways. We can consider X as vertically opposite to 120 degrees. So you can say X is equal to 120 degrees. And we indicate that they are vertically opposite angles, right? Or we can also consider X and O on a straight line. So we can say that 60 degrees plus X to be equal to 180 degrees. So they are on a straight line. So we have our X to be equal to 180 degrees minus 60 degrees. So it means that our X will be equal to 120 degrees. So we've been able to find our X, we found our O. Now how do we find our Y? So our Y, we know that it is corresponding with our O, because this is on the outside, this is on the inside, right? So we can say that Y is equal to 60 degrees. That will indicate that it's corresponding angles, right? So because it's corresponding angles, that is why Y is 60 degrees. And then we can also consider these two angles which are inside. When we have two angles inside, they are interior. We know that they add up to 180 degrees. And we know X is 120, right? 120 degrees. So X plus Y is equal to 180 degrees. Where you have 120 plus Y to be equal to 180 degrees. And we know that Y will be equal to what? 60 degrees. So we can use this, or alternatively, we can use this to find the Y. So we found our O, we found our Y, we found our X. So we know that our Y is 60 degrees, our X is 120 degrees. Now let's consider another question. So in this question, we are asked to find the angle lettered X and the angle lettered Y. So these are very simple ones. We see the angle lettered X is on a straight line with the 50 degrees. So we can say that 50 degrees plus X degrees is equal to 180 degrees. And we can say that they are angles on a straight line. Angles on a straight line. So we know that our X degrees will be equal to 180 degrees minus our 50 degrees. So we are subtracting 50 degrees at this side, and then we add or we subtract 50 degrees at this side and subtract the 50 degrees at this side. So it means that our x degrees becomes equal to 130 degrees, right? So it means the x here is 130 degrees. And then when we consider 130 and the y here, we see that they are vertically opposites, right? So we can say y is equal to 130 degrees and would indicate that they are vertically opposite angles, right? So we've been able to find our x as 130 degrees and then we found our y as 130 degrees. Now let's consider these ones as well. We want to find the angles lettered x and y, p and q, b, and then 75 and the likes. So let's look at how we can find it, right? So when we look at this, we have the angle x and y, we have the angle q and p. Now let's solve the I and the II. And I'll let you do the rest on your own. You put the solutions in the comment section so that I can be able to go through with you and then we'll review it. So now let's consider the first one, which is the I. So we want to find the angle x. So we know that angle 60 degrees is equal to angle x degrees. And why is it so? We know that they are vertically opposite angles, right? They are vertically opposite angles. And then we want to find angle y. So we know that angle x is equal to angle y. And we know that the angle on the inside and the angle on the outside are corresponding, right? Let me use another color so that you can see well. The angle on the inside and the angle on the outside are corresponding. So it means that y is equal to 60 degrees, right? So we can say that angle y is equal to 60 degrees. And we can indicate that it's corresponding angles. Now let's consider our II. So for II, we know that our P is vertically opposite with the Q, right? So we see P here is vertically opposite with the 135 here. So it means that our Q is equal to 135 degrees, right? And we know that it's because they are vertically opposites, right? So this is I, this is II, angles, right? And what can we say about Q and P? We can say that they add up to 180 degrees. So we know that Q plus P is equal to 180 degrees. So if our Q is 135, we add our P, we should get our 180 degrees. So it means that our Q or our P will be equal to 180 degrees minus 135 degrees. So it means our P would give us 45 degrees. So we've gotten our P here, right? So now go through the other ones and ensure that you are able to find the angle A and B, you find the angle X, Y, and Z, you find the angle B and A and then D and C. Find all the angles and share your answers in the comment section. So in this lesson, we have looked at how we can solve questions on angles when we are looking at the parallel lines and the transversal. In our next lesson, we'll be considering some more questions on angles. See you in the next lesson.